do they like? And then make us say you witness say one of the best ever UCL games. It was San Siro. Now into the game list. I think that people should understand say in football, anytime I met Nanka say apart from tactics, ekasano, there are different momentum, especially in the game. Moment, make very good use of the moment. Ubenya ewo game, especially in the first half, first 20 minutes, first 30 minutes. Barcelona were dominating the game, possessing the game, but the team at least only had a very good moment, and only had that momentum was Inter Milan. In the name of the simple graph between as I can check him out now on Fantasy. The momentum between those two teams. The moment they started game from minute 1 to 20 minutes, and to when team and the Inter Milan in the game, Barcelona were ekita the momentum of the game. They were determining the pace of the game, how to attack, how to defend. But don't check game now. At the 21st minute, Dumfries goal. That was when team and the Inter Milan started their momentum. Ultimately shared that first goal. So they came into the game in clear chances. And then they have goal because at that moment is to how Barcelona set it up for team. They were playing 4 back up. Medical can say Inter Milan this season any team be a Barca the board set team number 2 top because of how Barca board the high line and how any players a position it makes it difficult for them to defend against teams are about 2 top and 2 strikers. Into what he drew baby no. Di Marco was not pressing Eric Garcia. But whenever Barcelona kitabona because they do have Frankie De Jong drop it deep. Pedro also drop deep and Daddy Omo also drop it deep. Then to leave space for Lamine Yamal, they have to keep wide players and very wide. And you see, Di Marco, Henry Mkhitaryan, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, then Barella will join Dumfries, Thuram, any Lautaro Martinez. It will attack. Some started initiative press no. In the other, first go no munya no. It was that presser. These 3 players cramping Abranta and the Danny Omo and no munya ball no. And you see, the moment the Marco G ball finish him no, he had several options. It will give him. In the over check here, the moment Martinez also initiating attack. So that first goal in Bayern, and yet again, almost also when they scored, they were also in the momentum. And then a sub passer, a coco to one, and a Kubasi, a coco sliding and a ball near penalty. If Kubasi and sliding ball now, trust me, the first touch of Lautaro Martinez, Onyan, the first touch and at the first control, the ball would have also been a goal. And Caston and commit me ako 2 upper. And the one can try Inter Milan straight to Bianca. I'll try the early payout Bianca that day on my bet. Kawaju early payouts ka Inter to win.
Yeah.
But you see, in the game, apart from say momentum, Medical can say to win the Champions League. Let's take it back to the last 5 years. All the teams managing the Champions League, your goalkeeper has to be doing the heroics. He has to be doing the most important aspect for you if you want to win the league. In several years, Inter friends say Man City G you Ederson performance, especially in the final and in the semi-final game. 2021, you Edward Mendy performance for Chelsea. And they when Madrid edge you Thibaut Courtois performance for them. And then they the teams will do the semi-final, especially PSG. Which says any Yansumai, they've been making saves and no Asuma list to all making 7 crucial saves, and this is the goalkeeper already just 5 million euros and 5 million pounds. Ekoko by when they sold Andre Onana 50 million pounds, pure profit business, and no. But you see, let's look into the game. And I think that Barcelona a player moka duo Medica can say. Barca this season, especially in the Champions League, they score goals. The only way I'll beat stop Barca is say either say be outscore no, and now manage more goals. That is the option no. If you want to win against them, they score a lot of goals. So if Barca share 3 goals, you have to make sure so share 4 goals. And Inter did that. Omo yes adwuma pepe. Into no share. Dumfries once again was very influential. Ewo Inter winner list to eno omunya no. Eno who checking the game providing 2 assists. And then the first leg no otimi share goal. Ema Inter for no enya omo baby otimi share 2 goals and then eno osanso nya 2 a friend say assist. Abonamenya 5 assists in 2-legged games in the Champions League. And the last time players be was Firmino. Any other some I think Firmino, Salah and some few players be omotimia record no. And all these players are able modino players are listed all omoya attackers. In 1998 the records in said the Opero it provided 2+ goals, 2+ assists in the UEFA Champions League game. Mohamed Salah and Roberto Firmino same game 2018 that was against Barcelona no. And then Abraham Dumfries etimi but you see you shouldn't be surprised because of the 3-back system Simeone Inzaghi bono. People are saying that we are redefining that internet coaches be about 3-back system. New full-backs they are key, especially maybe Antonio Conte before these 2 teams some problems about the me say the 3-back system Simeone Inzaghi bono. The wing backs no they are very key. The game obono. Emma made Antonio Conte style the 3-5-2 no obono. Same example like Simeone de no obono. Instead of checking Dumfries a list especially this season the Serie A. No fullback and a wing back European top 5 leagues and there were more expected goals per 90 than Dumfries. So going to this game has a flaking in the team, no, they should have been aware of Abraham threat, especially in creating chances. So me not surprised. Say, Denzel, Etimia provided 5 goals contribution in this 2-legged semi-final clash against Barcelona. No fullback in the top 5 leagues, and then expected goals per 90 than Dumfries this season in the UEFA Champions League. And now, Obeka so bizarre question be about. Lamine Yamal said, how can they stop him? And Makacho said there's no way to stop this player. You see, the reason why of late teams and scouts are banking, they are spending their time scanning, screening for this creative wingers no. Omo normal because enya regular. You see, over the years, most of the wingers omo ba nyina no, if say ka say creative wingers are the first person about team Lionel Messi. He can do all aspects of the game. Maybe you about Eden Hazard as a creative winger, he can do everything. And Omubano, 1 or 2, maybe he can pass the ball. He can also, but Lamine Yamal, a more identical or a player who didn't compare Eden Hazard. The passing range Hazard, but we know 8 more piercing passes in any game. Another winger be a person you overload. Wait me about the free rule number 10 because the passing range is so accurate. In Manika can say there is no way a bit must stop this young chap. He can do everything, and that is one thing. Sad boy now Chelsea focus on Brazil. Also a creative winger. He does everything. He can pass the ball, he can dribble, he can score. And see this kind of players need to, especially Obi to say Neymar as a creative winger. You cannot stop Neymar. You cannot stop him. Or China or China or Jibona or the Beba. And the moment I'll be campaign he will lay the pass to Luis Suarez or Leo Messi. So creative wingers, it is hard to stop them. But the thing is, so person minimizing you have to be able to say the loose balls of Benya Biano Beshe and they go Sadani Omo. Any Abranta the Garcia share Nina at the results of Bastoni, DeMarco, Hakan Chanoglu, and Henrik Mkhitaryan following Abranta the Lamine Yamal. International Shebasa game na list and no who check it the both half spaces and the half space plot between these two teams, especially the left side of Inter attack. The reason why no Jared Martin as that assist say no list number of passes Barca boy call the half pace or into the box of Inter was 97. Passes completed completed. A final player was 62 into the box. Na Makumaku 35. And into the box completed was 12 balls. And the final Barcelona players and list out of the 12 balls no 9 echo the placer. No senka Dimarco Bastoni mo kobo senko mujina no, but they were following Lamine Yamal. So 9 balls in the court that half spaces. In the no as almost a Gerard Martin in your 12 assister, 2 assister. You should be aware where the ball landed and where Barcelona players are tapping in. In fact, so Kai Eric Garcia boyana only money mamuka wasemi. Where was he standing? It was that same half space plotter. As at least in Lamine Yamal was saying at that time. Eric Garcia be share ball. And then no finishing. If it was Lamine Yamal or Rafinha any other position or any attacker, if giving it maybe Ferran Torres or maybe Pedro and Omar and go make matches are goal. Instead no tactically Obianya the moment. Obia utilizing the moment, but the tennis and no Adibako Habasa. Habasa say choose Kunde Ambobi because he has been playing all the games, but Eric Garcia played the game very well. How our attack here, but the thing is the way they were exploring Eric Garcia in the game no. So if you want to interfere the press now, I will provoke Barca for Highland press now. Eric Garcia there are several instances means muhuya. Anytime be Lautaro Martinez no are free. Because of that two top and running Lautaro Turam Inigo Martinez follow Turam because the boys at the far end also to follow or stay close to any pen. Until there are several instances and now Lautaro Martinez list no ye freer. There was no player because Eric Garcia was also focusing on Di Marco. And Macan has several times said Barcelona they struggle against him sir. Omobo two top. In general, obeying at the moment. Lamine Yamal, they couldn't stop him. Listen, check all the score. The score charts, ratings of all the players. And no one should go, one year assist, but ni ratings. Every player be there so. Despite the fact that no, Yansu Manya the man of the match because no, you 2 crucial saves. Ni saves and keep it money at the Inter Milan. Will game anymore. So that die embers of the game Asebi. Ebebenya that game no. And no Bastoni was superb. And in fact, what the reason why he's one of the best defenders ever in the top 5 leagues in this season. The partnership and no because they be Asebi but one should who will game anymore. But they made sure say ombe but in fact Maka Barca will average 3 goals every game in the Champions League. Averagely one should go 3.1 goals. That is the record, that is the stats for Barcelona this season. In general, make sure say if Barca man should go there, the 2 goals be there. That is the minimum Inter for waiting to stop Barcelona from not scoring. And then I think that they were missing a goal poacher Barca for no because we share 27 minutes. Lamine Yamal boy pass be e many Ferran Torres ko says a ball. And then I make say Lewandowski inclusion in the game and to me open up spaces for Barcelona players no. Because of American guys, there's a difference between Ferran Torres, how Ferran Torres born. A boy Barcelona in some ways. But if you have Lewandowski in your team, Nindini Keke, a draw players, a shorty players, and the positioning and it runs into the box, it's me a boy opponent, and it's me boy wooting man short. No, I met my say list to you will say a fine game, Lamine Yamal. Ukoshe John for player I'm friend of fourth young guy I'm the neighbor the poster. As we have many years to make this right. And then Arao make us Arao a costume. To be very honest, because the basics of defending is who defend here, who defend you will go. The basics of defending is who defend you will go. But the thing is, after the game, I remember when Inke Gundogan Barcelona somewhere last year, he mentioned if you are not prepared to admit your mistakes then you cannot succeed. And it was something oka efa arawo ho ombenya akasakasa bibre. What I say? Ombenya akasakasa bibre. But Ronald Raul list after the game, interview with Yasamo Kai. I said, do you think that I lacked forcefulness? In the third goal, I'm marking Asebi. I'm ahead. And in the fourth goal, in football, there is also coverage from other players. And these players are soft. And these plays are soft. Because blaming Gerard Martin said he was doing or no Yenejuma. He was also covering for Gerard Martin. But listen, especially Asebi, the other fan say no asonimu. Incubatement intercepted ball very quickly, but I don't know how he was defending that goal. But especially to Ram there, no, a striker in your ball. The basis of defending say defend your. Kill the game completely, and they couldn't defend it very well. And Barca, I had so clear that defensively they are no good. In as much as Omume said Bade absence, if Bade were more, maybe the kind of chances because Alejandro Bade, apart the Barca defense list or what we do also will be because of his speed. And Kobetima had Dumfries kakra, and also Jules Kounde into the game. And Kobetima bua game. Because if Jules Kounde Oma and come over around at that game, okay, Eric Garcia. So I think that was destined to happen. And Inter Milan in Yadoma and Simeone Inzaghi. We have to get time. Now he can't want to me because whatever he is doing, he's not. I say he can't want to more. In 3 seasons, I'll be doing Inter 2 final Champions League appearances, and this is a coach at least. He doesn't have the resources. Inter Milan doesn't spend on big players. What they do, they say for players cheaper, big team bar, then they will lay off that player. They don't have the resources to compete with even AC Milan, any Napoli at this stage. So without this, resources in their money, he's still trying to do whatever they are doing. I think that the Inzaghi family should be proud of the Obo Milano. Also a head coach for Pisa in the League 2, Serie B. Also the Pisa, Serie A anymore. Next season, so I think that you're witnessing a very nice game. Barca team now they have a very young, a very good team. They can score any team in Europe currently, and whatever project Hansi Flick is doing, if they are able to give him very good defenders who can adapt quickly to the more high line and also recover so fast, it will be very hard to play against Barcelona next season. But Inter game no more. Boy, typical Italian tactician game on boy. They made good use of make a good use of the momentum make good use of the little chances but I think the penalty issue I think that there's a lot of perspective, a lot of commentary surrounding
moments in the game.
And least of all my short video from other angles and different angles, and I think that I don't know how the reputation with the VAR room any ref in the quiet. But we had video in India. Henry Mkhitaryan make a tackle outside the box. But there was 2 contacts at that very moment. Your whole situations are player beat me slide it. Now player no every no as also the 9 as also born out to form. The last time me know about FIFA 25, now me yes I complain say car who tackle there send out me here. But you see, who checking moment now? Oh yeah no. Onya Lami Yama left leg. The first contact in Lami Yama, that is the tiny Lami Yama shin. And make contact. But at that moment, that Lami Yama a jump it. So jump here no jina the right leg and so all making movements. Then there was another contact there because at that moment, na Henry Mkhitaryan or that form. Into the 9 that form sounds so a boy no the 90 no AC form no. Into if one was about Matthew Lahoz, who is one of the best referees in the Spanish Federation. Like I said, the second contact, because the first contact list in football, so be true be play sorry and your advantage in play. And the second foul. So I say referee play advantage, but obey the first foul. So I don't know the interpretation a course. So but to me, if the referee decides say okay, or play on, that's the second ball, the second contact not the GR. But then again, after that penalty now, one sounds one. Barcelona take the lead, winning. So there were big moments in the game, especially Oshe Kubasi and Latro Martinez penalty now. Oshe born from different. But say Kubasi boom the head and a ball. But the contact and say or ball Latro Martinez 9 and another 9 was but there are people saying that who sounds so from another angle when Kubasi yes or slide now a brand and also Nkoba be Nkoba be average double touch 99 no I started epa, which was unfortunate. But I think that in the game you know, referees, you know, their decisions are omenya no munya, and there are other decisions are, I think that the VAR room, no, how they communicate to the referees, no, they should get it right. And people also saying that Dumfries go no question or foul Jared Martin, and in fact Martin mum and okubutu abrante no ne calf and not a toy. But that same instance, no, with Dumfries and Jared Martin, they will now omunya 2 knocks, which is Dumfries mum kotia Jared Martin. That is before I was about control ball, no, and that ball, no, Jared Martin anti-anto. But the ball na Jared Martin titoy no onu mom na de 9 ekoko pim Dumfries or titoy. So there are several circumstances, several angles a bit my bad tennis. Basa when they went 3 goals up to 2 no, with 3 minutes to go,
they didn't manage
the game well.
That one is a fact.
They didn't manage the game well. Because we how no more pressing, how they wanted to play the high liner. Dumfries team the ball far. Jared Martin who oko cross the ball. At that moment, numbers at DM no way. They were nowhere to be found. And she may be a Bastonio. Sorry, she be a Sebi. If we buy, I'll be tapping ball in. So I think that they didn't manage the game well. And the idea a custom, especially na game go ball in also, and I'm a Araujo. And now to drama. But in that team so my bread.
Yeah,
they were tired. Even after the game, CBS for interview money Dumfries here. Dumfries no bread. This bread, this all those of you know, but bread say that. Utim 79 or bro team to make a beam. So I think that Inter manage game very well. Omutimi take your movement omunya. They made sure say the little chances omunya omutimi convert here. And yet again, Barcelona team no, you cannot stop them from scoring. The only way to win against them is to outscore them, and that is the only thing to win. I'll bet they are winning against this Barcelona team.
Okay, right. Yansha and then match no. Partey is back. Everybody is saying that Partey is back. There is a lot of responsibility on him. I think he's experienced enough to know so there is a lot of responsibility on him, and he just have to be Partey. Or is there something also bringing on board? Let's share the match. How should be the approach? We know say Arsenal the film, so they will obviously start on the front foot, trying to go and score. They will attack more.
Yes, I think they're sharing a game now. We have shared through 2 angles. One, from the Arsenal angle, and secondly, from the Paris Saint-Germain angle. From the Arsenal angle, no, one thing is in a game like this, we lose who fear. We lose who fear, meaning say, oh, quite we are. You need to take the approach of first 15-20 minutes. You need to get that early goal to make sure say wait me I equalize the game no. Then to say at the Obo home no, we share first 15-20 minutes. The pressure better so more because Obo home. The fans expect to say, wait, Marco, we are into your home, you are trailing. So it's one thing that they need to do. And a team who replicated this approach very well was Paris Saint-Germain against Liverpool, where in the second leg they made sure say in the first 15-20 minutes, Omutiminya that early goal, no more stretchy game they call extra. Omutimi winning on the penalty shootout. So that should be a big motivation for Arteta and then the Arsenal setup going into this game. One thing as a Arteta team who in this game, they say Paris Saint-Germain team no, they are very solid. But every team in this world, will at least a weaker link you can explore. The moment you can take advantage of you'll be able to take advantage of the team and get that goals and decide that now bet me they are qualified for the next round of the Champions League. Arsenal more fixture compared to Inter and Barca fixture is a 2 different thing. And everything Arsenal say in the first half they should get a goal and they shouldn't concede first. No. You say in the first league they conceded within the first 3 minutes due to player positioning. One thing about Paris Saint-Germain team, they say anytime they are playing, say nobody can pass it first or pass it ball anywhere. Meaning so almost shut out, but they try to kick the ball to a throw in for you to start the game. The moment I will start the game from a throw in, no more press until within the first few minutes you lose the ball and now they take advantage of you. So that time the players in position in here. In the first league here, say the likes of Declan Rice, Merino, any Odegaard, they left the middle empty. And nothing at Dembele pick a ball no. Erani Yama Kwaraskelia. After that, ball no could Kwaraskelia, they were all trying to like say overload that side. So don't make me winning ball faster. Into trying to overload, Muja and Finfino for Dembele to get that goal. So Arsenal going into this game, meaning say Arteta and Brighton actually the mistake they did in the first leg and how they need to correct it. Thomas Partey's inclusion into this team, I had the back were very important. I didn't make us and it's also first league the way I go in the buyer. If you have someone who is a DM, a natural DM, a CDM, every time they are no share on in the ball nichi, or that extra space now. A forward player or another midfield player can occupy. No, we jina wa channel. Into Usha in the first league, maybe analysis Kakra has said if Partey was in the game, there were 2 chances. Any DM would have stopped that play from Dembele. Go on it by. So and then his inclusion in the game, trying to make those stops, no, and trying to determine the play of Arsenal's game. And then Partey be free. Declan Rice here. Amanetima konenim. Amanetimi. According to the box, I mean, who Declan Rice as a box-to-box midfielder, to get into the box and find those final decisions to help the team thrive and help the team get a goal. The second thing I make Partey bear a stop gap for this Arsenal team to make sure, say if they are in transition or Mulusu ball now, he is not a player. He follows attacks. He always wants to be the slower person, trying to read the game and make sure it's a positional Ginano. So Mulusu ball now, he is the first to maybe come in contact with the ball. Until today, those are the 2 things that Partey the better Arsenal team no. But Adeba Akone say these 2 things Partey the better Arsenal team now. Nyame nim nukreni emfa goals in ka Arsenal team no. He will do the work to make sure say he will stop them from conceding that goal or conceding in the first round.
And like moving the ball.
Yes, moving the ball. And because moving the ball, he will help move the ball well. But Partey inclusion, how would they bring a goal? No, he wouldn't bring a goal. The only thing Arteta bet me take advantage of this Paris Saint-Germain setup, Hakimi and Mendes side. With these 2 players, about defensive worker, Mendes high, saying Hakimi. So meaning say Mendes today wouldn't see him search forward, saying in games he was searching more forward no, because of Bukayo Saka. But Hakimi, because Paris Saint-Germain game near more of, they try to overload the left wing position. In social Paris Saint-Germain games on my boy in the Champions League, Ube some line up beba, maybe I desire the airball right wing, and maybe I skill about right wing, na Bracula about the left wing. But during the game, no, so maybe I go beba and a chance beba with an assistant. Bones the desire the and then I'm the left wing position. Maybe Kwaraskelia and soon I'm the left wing position. The main idea is to overload one position and let Hakimi do the running. In game against Aston Villa on 2 occasions, would Hakimi go or share? No, he just ran in and met the ball because any so your man marking. I'll be the desire day in the Chiako, and I'll be the Kwaraskelia Chiako. Then I'm no so no Hakimi ate me that run in a ball. Into Arsenal, they need to try and pin player friend Hakimi to now force Paris Saint-Germain to be in position as they started or as their lineup shows. Into to me, Nkwadi and Kaminya, Arteta needs to explore. How would he explore? The likes of Martinelli, they pick games to decide the umbetimi. Ubet Martinelli game, ubetimi ball ni na she go over. Martinelli betimi game, you betimi game, no benya reasimu chances known to me Shabako. So how are you going to explore this Paris Saint-Germain setup with the Hakimi? Paris Saint-Germain in Finfio, the weakest link on Finfio and Fabian Ruiz. He doesn't have the pace. Vitinha any pace, but Vitinha no air press resistor. Obet me you with free game no anytime. But Fabian Ruiz any pace no. Also when he's on the ball, he's not that good on the ball. Adio boy team they say he makes runs and covers spaces. Into a name, so ultimately ejina anytime you be receive ball and anytime your Paris Saint-Germain is starting ball no. So close Vitinha, close Joao Neves, not ball no could Fabian Ruiz wa. You can press him and take the ball very easily. Into no and Arsenal bet me use and also the Hakimi side me and Minyaya he should try that approach of trying to move Saka to the right wing position. You who say in drive be un komo asenya Enzo Maresca try Madueke on that side with that one Oba also direct. You don't know what he will do. it's either say Obena Jones will take you on and also be cross the ball. And it's very hard to determine a left player on the left side and do the ball on the bay, especially when he's equally good with his right foot. Intino, he can explore that, putting Saka on Hakimi. Now a young chap in Iwanyeri, I think he has the quality to the level of Saka. Undo Saka level, but Obetimia replicating Nyama Saka Betimia on the right wing position. And these two players in the front three would give Arsenal enough men up front. Send you Betimia punish Paris Saint-Germain with the likes of Hakimi. Send Hakimi into me Nkonenim. So Mendes is who and Wanyeri would come at him or no soon Nkonenim. Then now the ball would be given to Fabian Ruiz mo any we're friends saying we Joao Neves, any Vitinha, they need to get into the box. And these three players, they are no good when they are around the final third. Almost short. Maybe they can find passes. But so Bebo short, they are no good in the final third. So you pin them to that extent. So on the front three of maybe say Desire Day in a Bebo, and a Bracula and a Bebo, and a Dembele, and a Kvaratskhelia. Now they have to do the magic themselves. They don't have anybody running in to help them. And the bit me aboa Arsenal set up no. And if they have to get the early goal within the first 15-20 minutes, and in the first half, if they don't get to concede and get a goal, it puts them at a good level. They can replicate sending me balls. Now they are Paris Saint-Germain and they Liverpool. They can do the same thing. On the Paris Saint-Germain side, Luis Enrique going to Champions League games, they don't know how to slow down games, sit back and defend. And no they back home in the Champions League. So they go into games full attack, trying to make sure say Kwambi Arsenal eso she goes. And no Ndra who are near account with Barcelona setup no. If Barcelona were able to determine how the game will go, say be a 3-2 up no, okay. My main city back. My main players now we can possess the ball more in De Jong, in Pedri, more they can possess. La me Yama, me a lot of fouls am I. That should have been the coach way. And the Paris Saint-Germain team need almost any year. But one thing the Paris Saint-Germain team need to be ahead of Barcelona team. They say if they want to slow the game, they can slow the game. In team Beckham against Aston Villa say in over 2 minutes between Vitinha and Joao Neves. I'm pass a ball now among themselves about 30 times. Now Aston Villa players need to Ginechi. That is one thing they can do. And I don't think so you can go into a game within first 20-15 minutes. So quite at the end of the derby. Those things are being done when we were at the latter stage of the game, maybe 80-70 honor. No way to me. One thing Paris Saint-Germain can also go into this game. They say Arsenal on Finfi honor. This season their player only form. Or Arsenal Finfi, a player who have not been able to step up, Odegaard. With Declan Rice and Thomas Partey ball no more bond, so we don't see Odegaard ne Nyama or Lucky this season. And if they can press Rice more, they would be able to take the Arsenal midfield out of the game. He's only the player in the setup in their middle three are all energy to run forward and run back, do that box to box role. No? Odegaard this season the form Natico. So if you can stop Rice with defense and Joao Neves, you are good to go. Now no Arsenal Echino in 1 year we Willie Skelly, he comes in to play as a force back. Ebeboa and Finfin with Thomas Partey or any player playing in the middle. The likes of Timber, they don't search forward. In Timber explaining the first round, said these two teams play the same formation but different dimensions. Arsenal fullbacks no, they don't search for it. They come in to play as force backs and make sure they protect the likes of Declan Rice and also Odegaard getting into the box. No matter what Thomas Partey. In TNA they will go with the same approach. So they need the front three are very sharp. And then the front three doesn't need to come back. Into Paris Saint-Germain, what they need to do, they say, okay, let's use the wings more. Into the likes of Kvaratskhelia with 1v1 or maybe 2, the likes of Desire Day with 1v1 or maybe 2, and the way at Dembele and Super Droppé, every pulley the likes of Kivio, any friends and Gabriel, any Saliba, no, it will give Paris Saint-Germain the way to be able to get forward and use the wings more, get crosses into the box, and make sure it's our 1v1s, no, and also that 1v1s to get the shots in the bit me a bomb. Usher into the game, Arsenal a team behind the Champions League. After 70th minute, they don't get to concede a goal. It is a Paris Saint-Germain episode to me winning game, no man. Meaning from minute 1 to minute 70, it's either they are getting a goal or they are seeing the game into a draw. And now Arteta, Brandt and Real Madrid said they need to get a goal. The way they couldn't get a goal at Emirates near the back bomb. Arsenal, one team, they score a lot of goals from set pieces, but they are also one team and they concede a lot of goals from set pieces. Into better in the Premier League, goals that Arsenal conceded this season, they've conceded 48% from set piece. So meaning say they have the set piece strength to get goals, but they can also concede from set pieces. Honor Paris Saint-Germain should use their set pieces well with the likes of Marquinhos. Marquinhos is very good in the air. Pacho is very good in the air. So they need to take advantage of those corners and those set pieces a better game. No, make sure game where it will be one game. It will be a very difficult game for us now. If they don't get a goal in the first half, they'll be stretched in the second half. A Honor, you try to go more forward. Now Paris Saint-Germain will take advantage of you. In the first leg, we couldn't see a lot of goals, but this fixture, I think we'll see a lot of goals. We'll see a 1.5, both teams to score in this game. Corners will be something I will see because Arsenal, Bernard said they will use those set pieces now to try and unlock team friend Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain with the likes of Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, any desire they force you to make mistakes in your box until you be forced to push the ball more to corners than to try and clear them. Until we see a lot of corners. Until corners there over 8.5, you bet me who in this game. Bookings, yes, we'll see a lot of bookings also in this game. NM1 say we'll see a bookings of 3.5 also in this game. Into me who, if I'm to pick a team to win, I think Paris Saint-Germain win or draw, yeah, one of the options I'll bet me a for. But also say open a risky better. It can be a handicap of 2 for us now. I don't see Paris Saint-Germain scoring 2 unanswered goals against my friend Arsenal in this game.
Okay, yeah, this and Yansha.
Yes, Listo, and the game, also give us another exciting game. I mean, in fact, if we bought the Champions League, now where you Real Madrid every move, especially dominating both first leg and second leg of Santiago Bernabeu, winning all these games, definitely Ubeye motivated to win the game, especially in the first leg. We saw Arsenal doing whatever Real Madrid was doing in the second leg. All the noise, all the everything, but PSG, they were just quiet. I went by England, Dean, in your Coco Binumie, Esha almost also go back to France. By nay, only 2 teams penalist all. I managed say Ometima progressive to the Champions League final. And now Ometima progressive from the Champions League semi-final. After losing the first leg, especially at home, 2 teams penalty. That is Ajax in the late 90s against Panathinaikos. And Tottenham Hotspur for year in 2018 Omani Ajax. So losing the first leg in the semi-final game, it was home. Now we go away. And time team beat my ass. But yes, I mean it's football. There's first time for everything. Records are set to be broken and then you say Obing Ibida. 2 teams are Ibida. So Arsenal can be the 3rd team to do that. But then let's check Arsenal for now. Marco Air France. 7 games unbeaten. Run away from home across all competition. And without each of them last 4 Europe, at least almost 2 goals. So Arsenal so any team PSG for and and in fact I know that they are not going to do that. Because this is a team why eliminating Real Madrid every this competition. And you see, say Arsenal for me to repeat that 2-1 victory over Real Madrid Bernabeu at least I will say Arsenal for a shot in some I will say game me if they can do that the game would have to go extra time because there's no way Arsenal can stop this thing because at least the dynamics of the game necessary. In this game Arsenal will have to go all out if they have to win because the first 20-30 minutes they will try to say break PSG. But here is the case that if Arsenal wants to go all out, they have to be very careful. In the first 20 minutes, they have to stay in the game. In the first 20 minutes, if Arsenal doesn't concede, no more team stay in the game and manage the game widely, centrally, narrowly. It's me getting one passes together. I didn't beat my bomb, but the thing is, one most important thing is I know that in midfield they will give PSG a very tough time because they also have an anchor, somebody who is also going to control the game like how Vintia will also control the game for PSG. Again, Rice will move to the number 8 a positioner obetimi carry ball no to the danger zones, to the half spaces ebe behind when Joao Neves, Ruben, Fabian Ruiz press here obetimi carry ball. You see how a PSG for list to ball they attack almost press centrally, so one take on alone very dangerous for them. And if Rice is able to do that, I think that they will hurt PSG very more, especially in this game. And again, Odegaard has to play one of his best ever game, because in the first leg he was missing. So Odegaard to me back game anymore. And I say yes, the comparison some years, 2 years last season, and then Mokomes is one of the best creative midfielders in the game. You know, he has to do that on and off the ball. If he has the ball, he has to be great. If he's off the ball, he has to be great. And it's something a bit me about Arsenal. In fact, I'm expecting Mikel Merino and Obebo as the first nine to also come into the middle to help this guy, because against PSG, a midfield battle, if you're able to win the midfield, if you're able to conquer them, you can do, and it's very difficult to do that, especially how Vitinha, Joao Neves, and if Fabian Ruiz mobile. And they have players. The moment that is when they use the flanks, because they have arguably the best wingers in the Champions League this season. One of the best. Dembele, Albert False 9, Vicha Kvaratskhelia, whether 1v1 or 2v1 or not yet just the one man, he can overtake you. And in a desired way, the attributes, how he plays, and any day Dracula submit me. I hate so. So listen, in this game, I think that is going to be very interesting. But then, if Arsenal for beat my Sanimana, they have to stay. They have also almost a very good away record at home. But one thing is, PSG for no, they've been eliminated just once from European knockout tie, especially in the Champions League. Abraham are winning the first leg, especially away from home. In the PSG in the UEFA Champions League and in the European knockout competition, Amakoko winning the first leg. Almost remove once pet. And that game was against Manchester United in 2018-2019 when Amakoko winning the first leg. Old Trafford and Man United. The exploit of Abraham and Rashford in that very game. And then they almost answer, especially in the league to Strasbourg. But results PSG in several games. Yet me find yastic. Liverpool for my who say it is possible to win against PSG at Parc des Princes. How we defend it? Omusankumbu the pressure and that very late goal. But who check it? Alisson Becker saves or yeah. Hey, to me keep your man. Can Raya do that? That is the question. And then Saliba, any Gabriel Magalhaes, partnership with my union, and then because in several games on my bar, Saliba abono, you mistakes or yeah. So I can say now Gabriel Magalhaes no, and then they play an Nankalis, Otimi Bois, and manage right now we give or game no more. We haven't seen the best of Saliba. And then if Arsenal they are not capable of holding on to the leads, if they are able to get a win, no man hold on, still they are going to lose this game. There's no downplaying Partey Abano. There's a possible absence of Dembele, but right now almost squad on the game. He's part for the past 2 trainings. He trained with the team, and definitely he's going to start this game. Into PSG for this with more wide players. More exploiting any gaps will be opening up. One clear chance I'll make me convert it. So in this game, if Arsenal say we are down by a goal, be attacking first ginging presence on first leg free under 3 minutes. Same thing can happen today. 1v1 marking PSG for whenever they are attacking and I say defend 1v1 centrally. So Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, Declan Rice, and Odegaard, they have to put up one of their best ever performance, because say almost tackle 1v1 at least. The only thing I bet my breaking 1v1 is individual attributes, individual brilliance, or tune 1v1 for the two baby. and in the moment I didn't bet to be take the space ube taking on ube short you omo, and that is one thing I was say Arsenal for me. They should be aware say Donnarumma will make saves. Nzene Martinelli and Saka mo. So man who game no so ma Hakimi because any game no the thing is Martinelli has to step up. Because Hakimi whenever they are attacking or ko animu in the space never be down. They have to Martinelli have to attack. He has to take use of that space never be down. I think that Nuno Mendes will give Bukayo Saka hard time. See the money man kind. Arsenal they take good use of set pieces of Mbono. And then you know checking the game now. I think that it's going to be an interesting game, especially Ucheki PSG side. Arsenal they are good on set pieces. They are going to utilize on that. In a 1v1 situation, PSG are good at that. They also utilize on that. And the momentum never ban. If Arsenal doesn't take care of the moment they will have in this game, list of all, PSG will hurt them. Now let's talk about Arsenal defense. And if Partey is coming out, whatever, then Partey diba on board. It means that if Partey bar, Mikel Merino is going to play the first 9. Partey will partner with Declan Rice, and then the press and who Declan Rice praising Thomas Partey that if Partey is able to, or the best performance, Emma Arsenal for now, they are going to win this game. And in fact, that is no flick. If Partey to me a control game no yeah, and then you won't say Arsenal will also dominate the game in wide areas. Arsenal will dominate the game, and then the American say Arsenal for no overload a place. They should make sure say in the midfield area, check balls. The moment I bet check ball, PSG they will create a lot of chances, and they miss a lot of chances. That is some weakness. Back no. They create a lot, and they miss a lot. Instead they say right, and Timian step up. Saliba, any Kiva, or money, Julian Timber, and then Martin Lewis Kelly. And Timian put up a very good defensive game against PSG. And I don't think that they will avoid PSG from not scoring. PSG will score today, and Arsenal will also attack. I see them scoring, but the thing is, can they be victorious? So meet me about on top. And also another question, because if Arsenal had another striker be a goal potent, I think that any game, if Saka, any Martinelli, it will be very dangerous for PSG. But the thing is, how is Arsenal going to provoke PSG for no? I won't build up. Are they going to do that 1v1? If they do that, PSG can hurt them. They have the men. I'll make press resistance. And any moment we are not meet me, press some very higher. And I'm not sure how they build up. The attention call left. You will press them. Dembele everybody deep. That is only if Kivo be dinechi. Say Kivo onye dinechi say pe. Na Dembele nya. He's also skillful. Otimi turning or sending ball call any of the wide areas either to desire Due and I say Vicha Kwaraskeria. Still a 3v3. In the PSG game no you have to make sure say omo flanks omo wingers no ubit me your best ever performance and it's very unlikely this adne a bit me happen into moment in the game. You have to make sure so to be very honest, with Partey coming, Arsenal will dominate the game in some parts, but I don't see say Ombe outplay PSG for the fact say able game no Park the Prince, because in say Arsenal won the best ever games at Emirates Stadium, but they lost to PSG. They didn't get the approach right. How how counter pressing affect you. And I know that press the first 20-30 minutes game. Maybe their advice and they have to stay in the game. Possess the game, Partey should control the game. They should look at the loopholes, and that loophole will be at Akraf Hakimi's side. Unless maybe they will decide say Omebo low block and I say Omoma Hakimi go too much. But definitely how Omebo this season biano. If Hakimi it means that Nuno Mendes is going, and I said the two midfielders, Joao Neves, Daniel Brandt and Eddie Fabian Reismo Echo. To be very honest, and they Biana Vintia being the game, they are already leading. Arsenal for now they will press, but if Joao Neves so a very good game alongside Fabian Ruiz, that is it for Arsenal, because they know that Thomas Partey a threat coming into this game. Arsenal build up will be different, because with Declan Rice, how Arsenal wanted to build up no munya sir, but ne Partey eba no 1v1 no ade betima, because Partey so press resist now pressing gidigidi a obetimi de ade ayo, then he will overtake you or the ball na kwakoma Rice mo. Rice will also carry the ball. Odegaard will play the true balls for Merino, and then it's going to be very very difficult game. But PSG with Marquinhos, William Pacho, Nuno Mendes, and Achraf Hakimi and Donnarumma, if they are able to get Omutimi put up even 60% of the performance more than all this season now, it's going to be very difficult for us now. I think that at least the game will be very difficult for us now. Despite say Omolusu the first leg, but it's not any idea ain't any possible. Liverpool performer here, but Arsenal for the question is, can they hold on to leads? Because if Omentime hold on to the leads on Benyana, it is something a bit may affect you. And PSG definitely they are going to score. If Dembele mo any more chance, ultimately no game plan work more, it's going to be very difficult. But Arsenal and they on that format or they attacking more. And if they are attacking, if they are trapper, PSG for best set up, especially in their build up. If Arsenal for anything have any bait, any ways and means that they avoided that trap now, they will still lose to PSG. In the game now, I'm going for a double chance for PSG. Maybe a 2-1 victory for PSG in this game. Both teams to score.
Arsenal will score today.
Yeah, Arsenal will score.
Okay.
Arsenal definitely they are going to score in this game. Now PSG, because of Arsenal never Bristol no any game no game no extra time. Now they are be affected. I have every right saying the PSG are going for a double chance for PSG. Both teams to score. Bookings, least of all, there will be a lot of pressure in this game. So we expect over 2.5 bookings in this game. And Arsenal, medical catch us they rely on set pieces. And one of the set pieces we rely on here by your corners. Anyway, we know the corners they show go. You should expect a lot of corners in this game as well.
Okay, we'll try a probable lineup, possible lineup.
Yes. With Partey back, medical Raya will start. I think that Gabriel Maguire is still out, so we should expect a center pair of Saliba and Nick Cable. Also, the center left back, I think that started Martin Skelly, because of how if they are in transitional or no caught wide, how he can also take the ball to run a lot. Now they are affected PSG team no. So I think that started Lewis Kelly, and also at the right back will be Julian Timber as well. In midfield, Partey will start at least on a Declan Rice. Rice will go to the number 8 position. Our born several times this season, and Odegaard will also start in this game. Merino ebekon emergency number 9 no obono. I expect Saka and Gabriel Martinelli to start this game. On PSG side, obvious Donnarumma will start this game. Hakimi, the center pair, which is Marquinhos, and Abranta and Eddie William Pacho. Nuno Mendes will start from the left. The 3 midfielder obono as usual, Vitinha, Joao Neves, and Abranta and Eddie Fabian Ruiz. The up front, and so obvious Dembele, Vicha Kvaratskhelia, and Desire Doué. In fact, on my last game, my boy in this French league, only one player pay 10 changes in a coach near one player pay the Diminution and the nod in the game, which was Abranta and the other Joao Neves. So these are the probable lineup. I think that 2 teams to beat him, so a team has started.
All right. What do you line up with Anafi?
Okay, we line up neither. I think we wouldn't see a lot of changes. I didn't make us and say we are looking at 2 teams. The coaches like to play some particular type of players in their game because of send your person winning game. Into with Paris Saint-Germain side, we wouldn't see a lot. I think we see the same players or more in the first league, no. And when te behun Donnarumma, behun Hakimi, behun Pacho, Marquinhos, Mendes, Infino, Neves, Vitinha, any Fabian Ruiz ewo new desire de Ousmane Dembele and Kvaratskhelia and so with Arsenal, Partey would come in to change Trossard into a more of Raya. Ben, maybe I'm looking at and Nobena doing say or bet me started Ben White ahead of Timber, depending on the way you move overloaded the left wing. He'll be he's very solid and would go into hard tackles, but a bit depending on send your bet me according between Ben White and Timber, one can start on the right back position. You be Saliba, Kivio, Lewis Kelly, Rice, Partey, Odegaard in the middle, Martinelli and with me I would go for Saka, Merino, Iwanieri as my front three because I think Saka, Iwanieri can put more pressure on the Paris Saint-Germain team than their Martinelli, you know. So we'll see Senya Arteta be called into the game. But I think with this front three, in Kebetimi Aboa, Emma Arsenal Timenya and Eli Go, I bet me Aboa.
Okay. All right. And you share your options are bet options are able to me diama your for.
Okay, then with bet options 1 year share Arsenal and the Paris Saint-Germain game bet builder. Paris Saint-Germain home win or draw over 8.5 corners and a first half 0.5 and a both team to score odds near 4 odds and code no NMDY MYBET.AFRICA.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, and the selection for the day, no, the Champions League semi-final clash about so the PSG Arsenal game, the build builder selection 4.32 odds, double chance for PSG, both teams to score over 8.5 corners and over 2.5 goals in that game. Double chance for PSG, both teams to score over 8.5 corners and over 2.5 goals in this game. Code no BMDY.
Right. In terms of way your analysis for Endra game no and and so the end na to media abroad in team. I mention Misumetumi a generate kakra out of 10 from the game. One say my bet there. Sanete utumi a generate one match. Utumi generate a lot of us. Out of 10 menyawa over 1.5, corners over 10.5, bookings over 4.5, away corners over 5.5, home corners over 4.5, and our bookings no on say you will be one ma more booking points. Booking point 35.5 ni nyina out of 10 ni nyina aye out of 10 aha ni nyina out of 10 na news e ban say Jerry Afriye are returning to ne team wo Spain na awes o mo call relegation nti o ma yi na ma na ye den ko no na ye the only assist the ma ye last game I share and afi so businessman ye friend no Sedu Agongo ono na ono na class media ne de wama goalkeeper de ma Blasters ne Accra folk Sonata momien cancer topic 2 ni mbom na afi yenyewe.
Yes, I think we share with the good gesture businessman the Aboa Accra for goalkeeper now is something that is good. It's something I say in our game would show our support to our players. In some weeks back, there were rumors of him being in a trotro going home would be a video at the better abonting. I don't know if the purpose was to just make fun of him after his call up into the Black Stars Nyama, but you are see man the obedi sere no and ameno so na ebia we edi etimi ye den epiem enu nti na ya te say wanya that's a new car I think I don't know if it's a Lantra or Sonata. Sonata, yes. Yeah. Wait me a new car and or no so bet me a cruise one.
No bet me to petrol.
Oh, thought you had into to petrol. Or a professional player. You trying
hey, share. Yeah, I be one man.
These two. Yeah, petrol no turning your problem. Car moody petrol turning your problem. Yeah, hunjumano. I be in Juman kitten but petrol toddy and I mean him no maybe a class of folk. It do baby no more. I think no more girl sponsorship deal be meaning say still a gusu or
yeah, sure.
In team petrol turning the no problem. Professional player from fear to training for fear to training there. Obeti me at 20. Professional Jiska obeto. And I think yebebo obi biara obo ama ade etimi ko through amene ono nso etimi enya car ama nya metimi akoyi. We ni ehwe say good gesture say na bebo ama in football na ko enim. Ntene akwala bi obebi na obobo a na bia o gidie se enye dempu no ntimi ndu baby na bia local league mu no woma ne modern ball bebo no ena meno so bi betimi afa so aboa no the performance or done di with the Black Stars in 2 games no I think no crack can be na wetimi nya kai bi okoye na nyama nko yi a ke bia obi abe na dwimpo se ni din bompe so mutie but say no timi yi na kume meboa Ghana man mo mutimi win those two crucial games na me no so no bi so yi na kume e de abo nti ehwe say nkofo betimi aboa se ya nipa de obi bebo obi se ne awon so kwan so bibia ma wane bibi se etimi asinti eda obi biara oboa e ma enyama timi ko ye ne ka etimi aka ne nsa ama ene ono so e ka una.
All right, now Jerry free so
yes, we JFE we need it. I think
what sort of arrangement was that?
I think maybe a bit making more of maybe discussions at club no and
why discussion being I won't because omramebo 2 matches no returning. I don't get it.
Once they do maybe a clubs need build good relationships with the federations no based on senior or chinabino maybe during some time because once they under 20 no any we youth side no mostly no ye match say club breaks e mo mbebo e do be a clubs ne ball matches na federation ne hu we clubs so we here player about this crucial game no mun so ejai no so maybe they've been able to build good relation on eno nti na ene ye hu say that agreement ne me akoso mo man kwan amanako and sanyama we na share the importance of the player because ene say ebia mamemfa Basa team ni in fact maybe Spain for under 20 Lami Yama Akububi ne Basa a crucial game ombe hia Lami Yama amanabo because omo feel say e wo mu team no so bi beti me place ni mpo a ontimi mbosenia Yama abebo ni nti anu nti na ni hu say agreement etimi akoso a club ni so mbrambe boa no mo hwe so mbetimi atoto omo nyama ye na later waba nti the moment there has been an agreement federation happening club ni so request ni so etimi akotrue no meaning say they had a good relationship and a player and so aja to more person oboa ne man no timi enso boa ne club ni I think with eno there to me I don't have any issue with it. I think ade ba ko ebeko it builds good relationship between two federations and between a club and the federation obi ahwese nyama betimi akoyi obetimi akọ boa ne club no ama nyama koyi no etimi enso a return ama omo tournament omo bo no omo nso etimi akọ menim na bibia ompese omo du no.
All right, listen.
Yeah, Listo. With Benjamin Asari, then I think that this is not the first time I had to for goalkeeper Obi Cheneka, Richard Atta when Omoji League, or some to Elantra say be man when I mean especially Kotoko and House of Folk. This is not the first time. You who several times Kotoko supporters, fans, Toto Adeche or more players. It is something that it keeps on happening, but just that of late, your league aqua KBB we know that you are dropping standards. Then some players into own shadow who say they support the B2B car now BBC, but with Benjamin Asari standout performance for House of Folk, I mean several years and video after Black Stars 2 games and they Ubichen. I mean the person or the can he might not be Hearts of Folk fan, but maybe you'll be a supporting Ghana, seeing a Ghana #1 in the Trotra video call viral, some were trolling Mox and animal or talk. I mean, in fact, after that video, he came out, a lot of people are reaching out, say they want to buy him a car. So it is, I mean, it's something that in as much as the first timer it be AC, we should also, I mean, I'll say motivation to some of the young lads come and say, so born now, I mean, we know the situation of the Ghanaian footballers here, the payment, the salary, and all those stuff. So we know that it's not good, but then that performance idea, somebody elsewhere who is not investing in football will also, I mean, buy you something. I don't know where, I mean, it will also encourage you or something. So I think that Benjamin Asari, with this thing, when you know, it will also help him ease his, I mean, movement, especially idea. It should be something every man had done in modern do more. And Congress when you can't, I feel no baby chin and no baby bisa. It's something that every man a bit developing the performance, especially for both club and country. Which Jerry a free issue, no. I think that it was one of the main issues. Ghana, yeah, players I do more tournament, a delay, and when CD Lugo for announcing Jerry a free participation in the African Under-20 Championship, they made it clear. They said the player after the group stages he will return back. Money clear say after the championship, the player not ever return back. So I don't know the situation. Ababe say the player is returning just after 2 games, especially the first game of bench in a buy. So I'm quite surprised say Akwakoban say about 2 games are all call. But then enye Jerry Nkwa, former Bechem United player yeah, or Apollon Limoso. He hasn't joined the team. When you are knock the day I Ghana a game, he was on the bench for the team no. And there's also negotiations such as advantage as well. But I don't know if we're joining the team yet, but a lot of teams need to be now. They didn't even want to allow or release their players to go. So with Jerry free corner, me, I'm not surprised. They announced, oh my yeah, where say the player no or both group games new year, he will return back to see the logo. And I don't know the changes of agreement I'm a Branton or call so if I don't see him in a last game I ever in the group stage, I won't be surprised. But I know that from the group stages going, if Ghana is able to proceed from the group stages, Jerry Afri is not going to play any of your games and I expect Aziz Misbah with the current form of one. If Jerry Afri anywhere, he will open up space for Suleiman Amo, any other players. Say they should also fill in the boat and also provide, because we have another striker there. If they are able to secure him that passes now, Misbah can also score. In fact, Misbah actually go so far. Oh, your first game and your boy on the equalizing game in the mind. So if Jerry Afri is not going to be there from the group stages going, I think that Aziz Misbah should lift up the expectation.
Okay, right. Maha ani did jumadi nya bisi nyame atuma ochina ebeba. Ochina Thursday ona mranti na nkasa bombo no Chelsea mo. On Chelsea from our ball Thursday night football. Ebeba na the analysis of na game no na yetumi e de abrewo. Within the list of what Benedict and Kansas na what Vincent and Saka and a streaming show no at the mine. Yami Aduma China Bessia.